all know, I am Nivedita Pawar, a counseling psychologist. I have been working with the IITB group, and it's been a pleasure to connect with a lot of you with the sessions that we have so far in the past. So, today's session, we will be talking more about our emotion, how this helps us to identify the emotions that we have and how we need to deal with emotions. So to go ahead with the flow of session, I will let you know about how is it that we can be talking about it and what needs to be done to understand the session in the next 1 hour. All right. Okay. Can we come to the next slide, Suragna? You could just press the yes. So to the flow of session, yes. Okay. All right. So to understand the flow of session, we're going to look at understanding emotional hygiene. We're going to look at what are the four factors of emotional hygiene and how we can ensure that all these four factors are in our control. Then we look at the motivational factors which we talk about and what are the practical ways of dealing with emotional hygiene and how we can work on it. We would also cover a little bit more on the depression aspect because when we had the pre questionnaire, a lot of you have reached out to us talking about how this entire pandemic has causing a lot of emotional disturbances and a depression in a lot of us. So we will cater to that as well, and also, we will talk about what is the takeaway that you can have out of this session. So, with that, we begin with understanding what is emotional hygiene. So, if we come to the next slide, we get to see this image where we talk about what exactly do we mean by emotional hygiene. So, emotional hygiene basically means to be aware, be mindful, and to let yourself take the decision of what is necessary at that point in time. For example, when I look at the first image which talks about a girl who's talking about what she feels, that a lot of people give out a lot of toxic information when it is not even needed. Especially a lot of us have put on a lot of thoughts, ideas onto how we look in a physical aspect. That could be your weight, that could be your looks, that could be a lot of things in and around you, and this thought definitely affects you. So, whenever there is anything, any toxic idea, thought, or action which is going to be affecting you, it is your own path and the choice to cut off from this toxicity. So, if you look at the small bubble, it will say that soon it will be too late to get married. A lot of us might have been, a lot of you all also in your family members might have people who would be, in the dream of getting married, and all this pandemic has either postponed it or taken it to a time which is not aware when it would be next. But at that point in time, a lot of people also say that Acha, abhi nahi to kabhi nahi, you will never get through it, and how did you come across this and that. So all of this creates a lot of toxicity in and around us, and especially to the person who is going through that. Tell yourself that wherever it's important, you need to stop this thing that is coming from the people around you. Second is your self care. A lot of people do know what is the hygiene, which is washing your hands and washing your whatever groceries that are coming in your house. But every single time when you have a thought which is a negative thought, like for your life is hard, everything sucks, everything which you do is going to be difficult, or it is wrong, all of these thoughts are kind of a negative thought which do not solve any purpose. So what can be an answer to this, or what can be a step to identify that emotional hygiene is maintained is, you can tell yourself that even if things are scarier, what is it that I can do to make it better? Yes, everything is going on in a wrong way, but what I can do to make it better? Now, that knowing or being mindful about that awareness is being emotionally hygiene. And also, when we talk about paying attention to your own emotions, I'm sure a lot of us do feel about our emotions, which are angry, frustration, and all of these affect us in multiple ways. So, when we talk about our emotions or our physical and mental health, There are four factors which affects our emotional hygiene. And these are the four factors which will let us know how we can ensure that the emotional hygiene is maintained. The first is your physical emotional hygiene. What are the physical ways you can do to ensure that there is hygiene maintained? Second is your personal. Third is your psychological. And next is your professional. So we come to the next slide to understand what exactly do we mean by having physical aspects of emotional hygiene. Healthy body is like your emotional immunity. I'm sure by now everybody of us knows that you need to wash your hands, you need to eat well, you need to sleep well as you need to exercise as well. A lot of us do feel like a little step back about taking exercise seriously. Nobody is expecting you to come out of out of the pandemic with a very super fit body, but yes, it is very essential to at least be able to move your body every day, because only if you move your physical body every day, you will know what are the signs and symptoms you're feeling in your body, what is it that is affecting you, and what needs to be taken care of. The second is your personal aspect. When you talk about your personal aspect, there are a lot many emotions that we feel during the day. It could be rejection at work, it could be failure at all, the education that you're taking, or the semesters could be difficult. Somebody must have said something bad to you, and that in a way puts you into a bad mood, or a bad day altogether. But tell yourself that it's just a bad day and not a bad life. What can be done to make it correct? What can be done to make it at least bearable? Or what is it that I can make through to save through this? Tell yourself that these emotions are very important. Do not ignore them. Do not just let them be so that you do not have to look at it. But it's very important that you look at those emotions, you act on it. Ask yourself what is the feeling when you get to know about yourself. What are the personal areas of your life which are getting affected? What are the thoughts? What are the emotions in overall as a person that you feel? And what is it that you can do to change this? We will talk about what are the aspects by which you can talk about more of your health, physical and emotional, to create this hygiene. Then we talk about your psychological aspect, which affects to your emotional hygiene. This factor is about the situations at your, like, take anything which is to do with your work or your thoughts or your emotions. There are going to be things which are upsetting because not everything is going as per we had thought of or we were looking at. Because we have a setback does not mean it's going to be the end of everything. Do not have a view which is all or nothing. We need to find out what is it that is done. Why are we ruminating about the same things again and again? Somebody must have said something like probably a year ago, because we were in the pandemic last year also. It could probably come back to you like, this person had said something to me, and today we are again facing it. It's okay. Nobody had seen this come, but you know that the emotion you felt when somebody had said that to you, rather than thinking about it and making yourself feel more dull and more affected, break the cycle, distract your mind, and take up an activity which would help you be focused, be concentrated, and take your mind off that specific aspect. And then we also talk about a professional aspect over here. When I talk about professionalism, because we have a lot many people who are from the, who are working as well as taking education together at this point in time. All, I'm sure all of us are expected to finish our assignments, appointments, or certain things by an end of day time limit that we have. Whenever you have any assignments or any aspects or projects to be finished at a certain deadline, ensure what needs to be done. If you're just going to sit there and think, hey, what am I supposed to do? How will it work out? Then we will not be able to take action. And that, in a way, is going to affect you in your emotional hygiene. Because that's where you will tell yourself that, okay, I'm not able to do it. But rather than if you get disappointed, if you face a setback, tell yourself, what do I learn from this situation? What do I do to process it? Take the onus on yourself and find your meaning, find your purpose, and then move ahead. As we move ahead in understanding all of these four physical aspects, this is what makes your emotional hygiene more strong. Just as we know that breaking out from toxicity or from the outside world is not possible always, but breaking the chain from the inside, which affects your own emotional hygiene, is in your control. So you all must be aware of things which we call as outer locus of control and the inner locus of control. That's where we talk about how these four factors affects us. Here we see about why do we talk about emotional hygiene? The very aspect that everybody is talking about physical hygiene, washing your hands, washing your groceries, this and that. Even as child, why is it that we were always taught to take care of your own body, which is cleaning yourself, ensuring that if you fall somewhere, you how do you take care of that hurt? But very rarely we have seen that people tell us how do you feel when you fall down. So over here there is a quote by His Holiness Dalai Lama, which I will I would request you all to have a look at, because over here he speaks about along with their physical bodies, it's very important to nurture your emotional self also. Nevertheless, we are growing, but not just growing in a physical aspect. Even our emotions, even our self, even our soul is growing day by day. And compassion is what helps us to stay grounded. Compassion is what tells us where we need to be taking action and how we need to take action. We move forward to understand that when we have emotional aspects of our life, how and why is this emotional hygiene important? When we talk about taking your emotional hygiene, we also need to know that what are these factors which are going to affect you. How is it that a lot many concerns, a lot many queries that we had received from you, which we spoke about ensuring that how emotional hygiene affects us, how emotional hygiene plays a very important role, and why we need to take action towards it. So, can we come to the next slide where we talk about a few concerns that we had received from your end? If you just pause in for a second over here, a lot of us did speak about how do I find my attention? How do I keep myself focused? How do I work on multiple things, but I'm not able to keep my mind on one specific thought? How do we talk about our own self? A lot of us do have a negative self-talk. How do I break that negative self-talk and how do we go in the line ahead? So over here, I would request a lot of you to kindly unmute yourself, or also if in case you can switch on the video so that we can connect with each other face to face. And the session from here onwards is going to be an interactive session wherein I will be showing you a slide which talks about few pictures and few images, which is an interlinked image. When you look at those interlinked image, I would request you all to kindly be be kind enough to share your thoughts on it, and then we can take a discussion further. Is everybody with me? Any thoughts, any ideas so far? All right, can we go to the next slide? Okay. So when we were looking at the pre-questionnaire, a lot of y'all did share about what are the ways to stay motivated or how do we practice emotional hygiene? What are the ways to ensure that we can talk about emotional hygiene? So these are certain steps which I have identified here. So I would request probably if we can go in an alphabetically order, or if in case you guys would want to volunteer, anybody who would like to start with sharing with the first picture which talks about recognize to tree. So what do you understand when you see the image of recognize to tree? Would anybody want to go ahead? All right, can we go with the alphabetical order? Anuradha, if you've joined us, can you let me know what is it you feel when you see the first image?
Can you?
Yes. Yes, Anuradha, go ahead. Can I request you all to be on mute with others who are not talking, because there's a little background voice which is probably a little Yes, Anuradha, would you? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, this recognize to treat, I don't know, these emojis are sounding very dull, but um,
Okay.
I don't know what to make out of it actually. Perhaps, give acknowledgement or reward or gratefulness for the
Yes.
people who have in somehow contributed in any small or big way uh,
Mm-hmm.
to happiness in your life, something like that, something that made you
Okay.
feel good.
Yes, yes.
But I don't
I
know
would.
why the emojis are looking dull here.
Yes, yes. So you absolutely took the like you really shared the essence of it is when I speak about recognize to treat, it is about acknowledging what do we have going on inside us. So also I think we have somebody in the chat box. Give me a minute while I read the chat box as well. So we have to recognize our own problems to treat them. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. So when we talk about emotions, if in case I happen to ask you, how are you feeling? What would your reply be? How are you feeling? And
Good.
yes,
Um,
good.
as
Uh-huh.
of now, in this situation, I am feeling numb and zero because there is there is a lot of work to do, but getting out of the house itself is a big question mark because of this.
Yes, yes,
So
absolutely. So
right now, I am
we
feeling
come
very
to
numb. That is the thing.
yes. So having emotions or feeling absolutely zero. But when we happen to ask each other how are we feeling, the first thing or the immediate response that we have is either we are feeling good, we are feeling okay, or we are fine. But underlining these three words, okay, fine, or better, there are so many emotions that we do feel in ourselves. So, the first step to practice emotional hygiene is to recognize what is the feeling that you have. There could be a little nicks and pains in your shoulders because you could be working from home and you're on the system throughout. You could be looking after your family as well as your studies in case if you're doing it, pursuing education. You could be having people to take care at your home. Also, you could be having so many things of your own personal like interest. All of these things add to our emotions. But on the surface, we either have a smiley face or we either have a rosy face. What happens in between of this continuum? That is where it is important to recognize what are you feeling. There could be a feeling of hopelessness. There could be a feeling of the end of the world. There could be a feeling of absolutely worthless to be in a state like this. Whatever the emotion is, it's very important to acknowledge. It's very important to know what you're feeling. Only when you know what you're feeling, if you're able to recognize it, you can definitely work on it. So when you said that it is acknowledging, it's absolutely correct. It is very much important to acknowledge what you feel and not to use a fake most of us who would like to just put up a picture saying that yes, we are happy, but all of us know underneath that we are scared, we are going through times which are difficult. What is it that we need to do to make ourselves feel better? Thank you so much, Anuradha, for sharing your thought. That was a very very good way to let me know that a lot of us have this one word that we say, but it's also essential to recognize what are the emotions behind it.
Thank you.
So anybody, yes, thank you. Anybody else who would like to speak about any of the other picture on this slide?
Hello.
Yes, hi.
This second picture shows that one person has some resources or some things which helps him in certain situation, but some other person
Yes,
might not have that resources or that support or that strength. So
yes,
the
yes.
person should be supportive to others who doesn't have that instruments or support system.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have really gauged the image very well. So the times that we are in, we are all locked ourselves up in the space which is safe and distant from each other. But not necessarily all of us will be equipped with all the essentials that are required for a healthy living life. So at some point in time, maybe we will be left out of resources and we might need to be sharing with each other. At this point, it is very essential to remember that being kind and gentle to each other is important. Today, we might have resources and others might need it, but it could also reverse the situation at any given point in time, that we might be in help and others might be in a position to reach out to us. So being able to reach out, being able to give with others is what is being kind and gentle. When we say about being kind and gentle, it also is for ourselves, because our inner voice is our biggest critic, that you are only not good at yourself, how will you help others? That, I know, have you looked at yourself that you are only struggling with things, but you never know, people on the other end could also be struggling 10 times more. So whenever you feel that, even if it could be a small aspect of life which you are able to help out, please be there for other people. Many a times, if you're doing your work, or even if you are doing studies, assignments, all because you have NSEMs also coming up, people will feel that I am a failure, or my studies have not done well, I do not know where to start off from. All of these emotions are something which could be for you as an individual, but the moment you share it with your friends, you might realize that even they are in the same situation. Then being able to help each other, that this is some part of the portion that I have studied and I feel confident, maybe I can share this with you. Similarly, if you have studied different part of the portion, you can share that with me, and mutually we can share knowledge with each other. Now over here, sharing knowledge is also equally important with all the other essentials. Currently, because we are at home studying and we do not have this group setup happening in the physical aspect, being there for each other in a virtual world also helps us a lot. So, as you spoke about the resources, one person has it, the other does not. That does not mean that one who has it is a powerful or a mighty being. It could be that even if you are powerful, tomorrow you could be the one who would need this help. So please feel free to reach out to as much as people, to share as much as things you have, and remember to be kind and gentle with yourself first before you can be kind and gentle to the others around you. Thank you so much for sharing. Can we move to the next picture, and anybody else who would like to share? Yes, so I think Rucha is saying that if we share a situation, they generally bluff us that they are not good at studies, but finally top at the exam. What do we do in such situations? I can completely understand your concern, Rucha, because many of us are scared and worried of sharing a knowledge, thinking that if we share this knowledge, will go away from us. But it is very wise to understand that even if the person is bluffing with you, or he or she is not okay enough to share that what they have studied, you will be able to make out that who is being genuine to you and who is really not being genuine to you. At that point in time, it's very important to use your own judgment and to use your own skill to identify that even if people are giving you this all bluffing answers, that they have not studied, or they have not even opened the book. Some people would say, I've not even touched my books at this semester. It's okay, you know that nobody will not do it at this point in time. It is wise not to spend your time in such people, and at the same point, look out for support groups who are genuine. Reach out to your friends who know about these support groups. You can speak to your mentors, you can speak to your professors, ask them which are these genuine groups who will let us know that what is this hand holding, which topics to be covered, how is it to be done, what needs to be done before an examination. All the situations and all these groups will definitely help you, Rucha. I hope that helps you identify how you are being kind to yourself rather than feeling bad that somebody is lying to you. It's important to know that even if they are lying, it's not your fault, it's their bad ways. You can take a step forward and reach out for help. Yes, anybody who would like to talk about any other picture over here? You can pick up any picture from the remaining ones. Or if you want to talk about the same picture, I'm okay with that as well. All right, who wants to go next? Anybody in the chat box? Okay. All right. So again, I will have to pick up people. Now this time I'm going very random. Okay. How about Kriti? Kriti, would you like to share your thoughts?
Yes, so I'm gonna talk about the third picture. So most
Yes.
of the times what we mostly think is what is bad in our lives and what is going wrong.
Yes.
But we don't
Yes.
appreciate what we have, what actually
Absolutely.
we have. So to
Yes.
have a mental note or to have a note in a journal for that
Mhm.
these are things that I'm good at, these are things that I'm grateful for. So it's a
Yes.
good practice. I feel that.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you so much for sharing this. Also, I like the fact that you spoke about what is there with you and looking at the different perspective or looking at the brighter side of life. So when we talk about having a gratitude journal or being grateful for things that you really have, it could be a house to stay in, it could be the food that you get to it could be the clothes that you get to wear. At the moment, having a stable internet connection so that we can connect with each other on like a call or a session like this. So these are small things which we can be grateful for. Given the situation that the world is dealing with, you have the ability to breathe well, you have the ability to walk well, you have the you have the ability where your friends or family members are at least being able to reach out to you and you are able to reach out to them. These are certain things which is priceless, no money can buy it. And that is what being grateful is, that is what you can write down in your journal. In the last few sessions, whenever I have spoken about the journal, a lot of people have responded back to us saying that what exactly do we do in this journal, what do we do or what do we write in this. So the three things every single day that you can write about is how you felt after you woke up at us on like, so tomorrow morning when you wake up, what is the first feeling that you have? Do you feel energetic? Do you feel that you had a good sleep? Do you feel that you were feeling hot or there was difficulty in sleeping? The fact that you were able to wake up in the morning, so that could be a thought that you could write. Second could be your body is in a healthy position to move from the bed to like on land, that you're able to move yourself. That could be one thing that you could be grateful for. Another thing to be grateful for is the food that you are getting every day. A lot many of us are facing difficulties because essentials are not there, people are staying out. People who have suffered from COVID are not in that physical strength to get up and cook. By God's grace, we are healthy and fine and we are getting it. These are some things to be grateful for. So all of these small things, if you can just have a look at, that is something to be grateful for. That is something we would really appreciate. Each one of us can start maintaining a journal. You can start writing what you feel happy about, and I can guarantee you that at least for next 7 days, if you can try being grateful for three things in the morning and before going to bed, you will see there's so much a shift that comes into your emotional state. Also, then the question box, we have Gaurav who asks, what you love, but most of the time, the things which we enjoy, the things most doing are not productive things. Yes, Gaurav. A lot of us do have difficulties that we get stuck on certain things which are not essential but are pleasurable. It could be games, it could be eating, it could be sleeping, it could be just thinking in the blank. But does that make a difference to you? At least be grateful that you have the leisure time to think about that. You have the leisure to play games. You have the leisure time to dedicate your time to studies and dedicate your time to a little of this extra curriculum or a little leisure activities. If you can focus on these both situations, I'm sure you'll be able to work more happily and productively and feel more grateful. Also, we have a question which says, what if we don't want to reach out to anyone? If in a situation we don't want to talk to anyone, Yes, absolutely. If in case there are times which would not like, even like for me it could happen on a day like I do not want to reach out to anybody. I might just want to switch off my phone, not talk to anybody, not respond to anything. But even on those days, be grateful for the things that you can do it. Just imagine somebody who is going through a difficult phase of life. Can he or she afford to switch off their cell phones and not be able to who can take this part that okay, I don't want to talk to anybody, I'm just going to be on myself. On the opposite hand, we do have the space that if at certain days you do not want to reach out to others, you do not want to talk out to anybody, it's okay. You have done the first aspect, which is recognizing. You have recognized that your body probably needs a little rest and does not want to reach out to others, and that's absolutely fine and nothing to be feel guilty about. But for how long do you want this break to be? If you answer that it could, like if you say that it could be like for a day or two, that's fine, all of us feel that. But if you are feeling it over and over again, that feeling stays for like say 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, or a week or so, that's where you need to recognize what needs to be treated out there. What is the hurt, what is the emotion that is stopping you from reaching out to people, either to give help or to receive help? Not reaching out is okay, but for how long? Some of us would say that introverts do not like to reach out to others, but yes, they do like to be in like in touch with people and not like a complete detachment from others. So I would really request you to, like, if in case you have thoughts of this, of not wanting to talk about others, absolutely agreed and acknowledged. But ask yourself, for how long do you want to be in that phase, so that you can give out clear messages to people who care for you, so that others do not feel worried that why all of a sudden this person is not behaving as normal it is. That's where we talk about the normalcy. But you can just tell them that I'm feeling a little burnt out with few things at hand. I would request you to, like, give me 2 3 days for me to recover and re-energize myself, and then I'll get back to you. That's how you can take that space and be in your own zone. I hope that helps you solve your concern. All right. What about the other images? Who would like to talk about these other images that we are yet to discuss? So we are yet to discuss about 3 important images. Anybody who would like to go forward and share their thoughts? Hmm. So do we have Shreyas with us? Shreyas, are you there with us? Would you like to pick up on any of the image and share your thoughts? Okay, I think probably there could be a difficulty in connectivity. Gaurav, would you like to share? If in case you would like to unmute and talk about any image out of the 3 that we are yet to discuss.
Yeah, the acknowledging emotional baggage. So
Yes.
that is always with us in every day. That
Yes.
when we
Yes.
wake up, we think I have to do this much things in whole day. But
Mhm.
at the time of the going to bed, we think we always feel some guilt about some things. So that is
Yes.
always there.
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing, Gaurav. So when we speak about acknowledging emotional baggage, the very important aspect is like a lot of y'all, if y'all see yourself, your shoulders would many a times be feeling a pain in this collarbone area. Although physically we are not carrying any burdens on our shoulder, but knowing unknowingly our thoughts are so much that this area especially feels very much burdened out. And that's when we say that you're carrying emotions on your shoulders. That's where we say about having emotional baggages. A lot of us feel a lot many emotions that we cannot share. And we feel that it is not okay if we do not think about those emotions. So as you rightly said, that there are things that we feel guilty about before we end our day, or before we sleep for that day. So that happens because a lot of us carry expectations to be received and expectations to be given out to others. A lot of us have negative self talk. A lot of us have the aspect of comparing with each other, that I have done so many things for others in the past, but nobody does that to me. I am always there available for everybody else, but in my time nobody else is there for me. I am always the one who is the giver, but I never receive it back. Or when it is guilt, especially if you are working from your own houses, I'm sure when you see your parents who are working and you might not be in the position to help them because you've got to, like, finish your education, you have your assignments to be submitted, you have a lot more of portion that needs to be finished at a given point in time. So you, rather than being able to help them, you have to sit and finish your own work and studies. A lot of us do feel all these emotions, and these are our emotional baggages. Something that we could have done for somebody in the past ages could also come back saying that I had helped you then, but today you're not helping me out, especially in the financial matters. All of these are your emotional baggages. It's very important that you keep them parked down and you acknowledge them from time to time. Today, if we go on social media, a lot of them are sharing so many posts about reaching out on these vaccines and being able to ask for help for beds and all these oxygens and everything. And somewhere sitting over here, we feel that, okay, I'm feeling so bad and guilty that I cannot go out and help somebody in pain. But the fact is that at this point in time, what is important is to do your best by staying in the house. Rather than feeling guilty for not being able to help, at least acknowledge that at least you're not causing the problem or making it more intensified. If you are the one who is always giving out for people, or you are the one who is always doing XYZ things for your friends and your family, and you see that nobody is reciprocating to that aspect of life, do not get disheartened. Just tell yourself that, be grateful that you are in that position to give out to others. Not everybody is. Many a times, being able to acknowledge is the greatest key to emotional hygiene. The way we beat ourselves up for a lot many things is not really necessary and important. If you know what you're doing is correct, and if you know what you can do in your capacity, do not hesitate, do that. And that point in time, if you feel like shedding tears, if you feel like having an emotional breakdown, it is okay, and it is very much needed also. I'm sure all of you all might have experienced this, that the moment you have a good crying session, 5 minutes after that, you feel so relaxed and you actually sleep like a baby. That is your key to emotional hygiene. I'm not saying that you should cry for every small things, but we hold our emotions so much, we bottle ourselves in so much that I'm going to be strong. I'm not going to break down. I'm not going to let my emotions flow. It's okay to take a break, let your emotions in, and put these baggages down. Do not get so much into that I have to do everything. I need to do this. I need to go there, this, that. No, right now, what is important for your own well being is what is emotional hygiene. As we had said in the starting, that acknowledging and identifying what is good for your own self, what is good for your own mind, is being emotionally hygiene. Thank you, Gaurav, for sharing your thoughts on this image. Anybody else who would like to talk about the rest of the two images? All right. Can we have Kalpana? Kalpana, if you have joined us, can you share your thoughts on the other two images? Okay. I think she has not joined us. Radha, if in case you would like to share your thoughts. All right. So now that we have seen a lot of your sharing, I would just want to talk about the last two images, which is reaching out and finding meaning. When we talk about reaching out, if you can see the image, it talks about when it all gets a bit much, don't hesitate, even for a moment, to ask for help. Whichever the situation, wherever you are in your life and whatever you are doing, if there is anything that you feel that you need help, you need to seek support, please be there. Please reach out to us so that we can help you better, or reach out to your fellow beings who can be there for you. I'm sure all your senior mentors, all the professors are there to help you out in the best way possible to them. The next image which we talk, yes, somebody wants to share something.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
In,
yes, yes.
in reaching out, I feel the main problem is that uh, our image will change. They will think that we are weak, and it will stay forever. And they will always think that we are weak, and we need means we are not capable. And due to this concern, that what will others will think, we try to keep our secret so that they don't use that secrets against us.
Against us.
Maybe it can harm our any life, professional life, or any. So
Yes. I'm so glad you shared this aspect of feeling weak when you reach out to help or we ask for help. A lot of us do feel that, and which also sometimes has been seen as a factor. Whenever we ask for help, a lot of us do take undue advantage of that. And if we do not reach out to people, it is we who are going to suffer. Just as when we were kids in school, whenever we did not understand anything, whenever we did not find anything, we were able to reach out to the person, and we would always ask our teachers that, can you help me understand this? At that point in time, we never thought that what the teacher will say, or whether she or he will laugh at us. The similar thing is with us now. As we grow, we feel that it is always expected of us to be as correct. It's again something like a norm, but it is actually a myth. It is not required for you to be knowing all the times. It is not required for us to be correct all the times. Sometimes, yes, you will be there. Sometimes, yes, you will not be there. And that's where it's important to keep the hesitation aside. Ask for help. It could be, you could find, you could sound silly to ask for help, but you will get the solutions. It could be again a very simple solution that could have been there, but again, the aspect of being courageous to ask is the win at itself. So all of us who feel hesitant or what others will think, let them do the thinking. You take the action of reaching out, either for yourself or be there for others. And at that time, do not be judgmental. That itne se baat ke liye, how can you reach out to us? It's absolutely all right. So thank you for bringing that aspect. And the last image is do what you love. So finding meaning in life. For the last year and this year, all of us have seen uncertain times and uncertain situations, and we have not known what to do and what needs to do. At this point in time, I would request you to take some 5 to 10 minutes of your day. Ask yourself, are you feeling happy and doing whatever you're doing? It could be education, it could be PhD, it could be your assignments, it could be your projects, it could be any possible thing. If it makes you happy, you need to continue doing that. If it makes you sad, if it makes you feel devastated or completely emotionally void, take a break, come back to it later when you feel good about it. Acknowledge, take a break, and then move forward. Again, so we go to the next slide and we see about how these many emotions, when we talk about how all of these are interlinked with each other. Also, as I said, a lot of you all did speak about depression and how you would want to have a takeaway as how to deal with depression. There are three things which has helped me, and I have seen people in and around who has been helpful with this. First is surround yourself with nature. A lot of us are seeing like a lot of negativity on the news channels. A lot of us, whenever we go to social media, also there is a lot of cry and reach out for help. All of that is something which can feel very overwhelming. Step out from that space, go out in nature and have a walk. Breathe in nature. Just by looking at it, I'm sure you will feel better. You could just do 5 deep breathing exercises when you are in and around nature, and you will feel so much calm and composed. The next would be clear the clutter. In the last 2 years, especially the time that we have all been, we are in the house, and there could be so many things we would have said, "Ki we'll do it later on," or, I might need this later. Ask yourself that from today, 6 months onwards, will I be required with this? Either it's clothes, either it's any accessories, either it's any books, or either it is any other thing. All of these things, whichever is not serving the purpose, and in the next 6 months it's not going to help you, please be kind and donate it out. Let the others who do not have it and might need it can have it, and you can have the clarity of mind. Because when you clutter, you have a lot many confusions in your head. The moment you declutter, you will see all your thoughts are falling into place, and you get a lot much of mental clarity. And the last one would be to practice gratefulness and mindfulness. As in the earlier image that we saw, that being able to reach out to others, being able to have the sense of gratitude definitely helps. Being able to thank the world that is in and around us, and being able to survive and breathe, these are the small things which helps you feel good, and it definitely increases the feel good hormones of serotonin and dopamine. So all of these levels, if you increase in your life, I'm very sure that you will find a lot more happiness. These are certain things which could be as a very first aid for your depression. If in case you have any more difficulties and you feel that you need to have a little more help, I request you all to please reach out to us, write back to us at Bandhu IITB Self Help. Let us know how we can help you better. We will be sharing the email ID in the chat box. Please write into us, and we will do whatever is there the best of us. So the next one is a quick one, which I'm going to be sharing a Mentimeter poll with you. So just give me a moment when I share this poll with you. So Lagna, can you write that link in the chat box if it's possible?
Yes, okay.
Yes, thank you. So there's a Mentimeter poll which I'm sharing. You just have to go on to that one and give your vote as to whatever you feel like when you read the question. It's there on the Mentimeter page, yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone, whoever has shared their thoughts so far. I urge everyone to please share your thoughts on this poll.
हेलो
Yes.
मैम मैं राधा बोल रही हूँ एक
हाँ जी।
डाउट था वो पूछ सकती हूँ
हाँ जी प्लीज पूछिए।
हाँ तो बेसिकली मेरा जो इमोशनल गड़बड़ हो जाता है वो मुझे शेयर करना था।
हाँ जी।
जब मैं पूरा दिन जो काम रहता है वो मेरा जॉब है, मैं और घर भी संभालना रहता है, तो वो पूरा रूटीन में बैठा रहता है, वो हो जाता है। मगर छुट्टी के दिन क्या होता है कि मुझे लगता है हाँ आज थोड़ा काम कम करूंगी, थोड़ा रिलैक्स बैठूंगी, थोड़ा टीवी देख लूंगी, थोड़ा गेम खेलूंगी। मगर ये जब मैं करती हूँ थोड़ा कुछ कंप्यूटर पे गेम खेलने के बाद मुझे ऐसा लगता है, गिल्टी फीलिंग आ जाता है कि अरे ये तो मैंने टाइम वेस्ट कर दिया। और कभी मूवी देख लिया तो ऐसे लगता है कि अरे छुट्टी का दिन मैंने ऐसे पूरा टाइम इतना ये मेरा वेस्ट हो गया। और अगर पूरा दिन काम करती रहूंगी छुट्टी के दिन भी तो मैं ज्यादा थक जाती हूँ, क्योंकि ज्यादा काम हो जाता है रूटीन से,
yes,
घर का
हाँ
काम
हाँ
ज्यादा कर लेती हूँ, थक जाती हूँ। और मंडे को, वीकेंड में ज्यादा काम होने के कारण मंडे को थकावट हो जाती है ज्यादा।
हम्म
तो
हम्म हम्म
रिलैक्सेशन लेने के लिए कुछ करूंगी अलग तो गिल्टी फीलिंग आता है, और ज्यादा
yes.
काम करूंगी तो फिर थकावट आ जाती है। तो फिर ये गिल्टी फीलिंग वाली गड़बड़ है, उसे कैसे सॉर्ट आउट किया जा सकता है?
राधा जी, थैंक यू सो मच आपने ये सवाल पूछा, बिकॉज लाइक एज अ पर्सन इन द हाउस मैं ये फील कर सकती हूँ। हालांकि आई एम ब्लेस्ड, माय पेरेंट्स आर देयर एंड दे आर लुकिंग आफ्टर अ लॉट मेनी थिंग्स, बट आपके यहाँ पे
यस।
आई कैन फील कि आपको लाइक यू सेड आपको पीएचडी का काम भी है, आपको घर का काम भी है,
हाँ
आपको खुद का ध्यान भी रखना है। सो इतनी
हाँ
सारी चीजें जब आपके शोल्डर पर है,
हाँ।
तो इट्स वेरी लाजमी कि आपको ऐसा गिल्ट हो जाए कि अरे मैं अगर मैं 5 मिनट के लिए भी रेस्ट ले लूंगी तो ये सारा कुछ बिगड़ जाएगा। बट
हम्म।
आप ही हो जो ये सब कुछ चला रहे हैं। अगर आप
हाँ
अपने आप को रेस्ट नहीं देंगे तो
हाँ।
ये काम नहीं चलेगा। जैसे अगर कोई भी मशीन हो तो हम
हम्म।
उसको 5 मिनट के लिए तो बंद करते हैं। आई एम श्योर आप वेरी सिंपल
यस
एग्जांपल, अगर आप मिक्सी चलाते हो, अगर आप
यस।
कॉन्स्टेंटली उसको टर्न करते रहोगे तो उसका वो स्प्रिंग निकल जाता है।
हम्म।
सिमिलरली उसको 5 मिनट के लिए बंद करके रखना पड़ता है एंड देन यू रीस्टार्ट इट। दैट इज द सेम विथ योर
यस
कंप्यूटर्स और एनी अदर थिंग।
यस।
हम ह्यूमन बींग्स है, हम मशीन नहीं है। इट्स
हम्म।
ओके टू टेक दैट 5 मिनट्स आउट, सिट विथ योर चाय या कॉफी जो भी आप लेके बैठते हो, टेल
हाँ।
योर सेल्फ दैट यू डिजर्व इट। कहीं ना कहीं
हम्म।
आपको वो गिल्ट आता होगा कि अरे मैं सबके लिए सब कुछ नहीं कर पा रही हूँ, तो मैं अपने आप के लिए
हम्म।
टाइम कैसे निकालूं। इट्स
यस।
ओके, आप जितना कर पा रहे हो आपके बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट एबिलिटी कर रहे हो। सो
हम्म।
जब भी आपको ये गिल्ट फील हो कि आप रेस्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हो या आपने रेस्ट किया है, एक स्केड्यूल आप बना लीजिए जहाँ पे आप आपके ऑफिस का काम हो, पीएचडी का काम हो या घर का काम हो, ये
हाँ
सबके बीच में
हाँ।
स्केड्यूल्ड ब्रेक लेके रखिए।
यस।
जैसे आप ऑफिस के टाइम में बाकी कुछ भी करना पसंद नहीं करोगे,
हाँ।
पढ़ाई के टाइम पे कुछ और करना पसंद नहीं करोगे,
यस।
सिमिलरली ब्रेक के टाइम में आपको ब्रेक ही लेना है। भले ही
हाँ
10 मिनट हो, 15 मिनट हो, ताकि
हाँ।
वो सख्ती ना बने। इफ यू डू नॉट टेक केयर ऑफ योर ओन फिजिकल हेल्थ एज वेल एज
यस
इमोशनल हेल्थ, आप बीमार पड़
यस।
जाओगे, तो
राइट।
वो ज्यादा गिल्टी फील होगा, राइट?
यस यस, सही बात है, सही बात है। तो मैं जरूर
सो
प्रैक्टिस करूंगी शेड्यूलिंग का, आपने जो
definitely,
बोला।
definitely.
हाँ।
So time management is something I'm sure you are already very much skilled at. So
ओके।
please include a little break time into it. So it will be much
यस
more helpful.
श्योर श्योर। यस, थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक यू।
Thank you, Radhaji.
यस
Yes,
यस।
I hope others have shared their thoughts on the Mentimeter. So I will share back the like as of now. Yes, thank you so much. As of now, I have received 11 responses, and I can read out the response to you when for the first question, which was, will go easy on myself and acknowledge my emotional baggages? I'm so glad to see that 55% of you all have said yes, and I'm equally happy because 45% of you all have said that you will be more mindful in it. That is what I really want it to be as a takeaway. Be mindful and see what are the things you can do for yourself. Also, reaching out for help and hesitantly. Most of you all have said you can do that. And also, people who are going to be mindful, I'm very grateful to you. That is what we need. That is what is the need of the hour. Let's go to the concluding slide. Yes. So these are a very quick 5 steps that are going to be helpful for your emotional hygiene. First is to scan yourself. Stop, scan from your mind to your body to your soul. Where is it that you are feeling stress? Acknowledge it and take rest wherever necessary. Second is take the talk. Take the break, reach out to people, talk to each other, release whatever it is, and ask for feedback wherever necessary. Act on it. When you act on whatever emotions or actions that are required, it will definitely move the perspective of feeling stuck in a place to it is actually moving, because the action will happen. Lastly, reset. Whenever there is a requirement of pause, take that pause. Whenever there is a requirement to press actually the reset button, do it so that you can be there for the upcoming days in a more healthier manner. And lastly, take enough sleep. The only way to have a good immunity in this point in time is to have adequate amount of sleep. All of these, the activities that we have spoken so far in our session, all of these will help you to have a good emotional hygiene. And as you can see down there, that yes, practicing emotional hygiene takes a little time and effort, but it will definitely elevate and it will definitely increase or make your life in a much more better manner. It will enhance the quality of your life. So with that, thank you so much for joining. But before we go ahead, please go to the go to the YouTube link which I have shared in here. Have a, like, if in case whenever you have your free time or a break time, listen to this talk given by Mr. Paul, wherein he speaks about how emotional hygiene is important and how this will help a very good aspect to understand and assess yourself. And lastly, please feel free to share your thoughts and images and whatever responses you have with the feedback form down below. So I will again ask Sulagna to kindly share the link in the chat box so that all of us can share our thoughts, and you can, whatever it is, please feel free to reach out to us. Yes, Gaurav, we are just putting that link into the chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Sulagna, for sharing the links and for helping me throughout the session. Anybody has any thoughts, would like to share any responses, feedback, please feel free to share.
Hi, Nivedita. Like, I have
Hi.
a question regarding something that I've been feeling like
Yes.
from a long time, but
Mhm.
like since I see this is as a platform that everyone is sharing, so I feel I should also. So, like, what happens with me? Like, I try my best, I work hard, and I do achieve something. I work on something, and then I do achieve. Then I feel good about myself for that. Okay, I have done this. It's good. Then then I talk to people, and then I see that okay, this person is doing much better than me, and like I'm happy on myself of this small achievement. Like then I feel like I should not only talk to people, then I need an intoxication from people, that I should just forget everything. I was happy in my own space, that I did something good for myself, and like that was the best that I could do. I mean, I didn't know what the other person was in which situation, or I know my situation. I try to convince myself, but still I feel at times like, am I not good enough? Am I like, those thoughts keep on creeping every time, like they don't go. I don't know what to do about it. I always feel
Yes.
very inadequate on like professional point of view, sort of. That is.
Yes. I'm so first and foremost, it's a very, like, first and foremost, thank you for sharing this concern and having the courage to talk about it, because I understand when we feel inadequate or when we feel that we are not enough, being able to share that also needs a lot of courage. So thank you so much, and congratulations that you have at least acknowledged it. You know that many a times it does happen that even if you're doing so many things, you feel that you're not able to do all the things in this, whatever his expectation is. It's very important and necessary to draw a line, to tell yourself that these are things or these are the parameters wherein I will be doing the best of my ability. But then there are certain things which is out of our control. Like, even if today I would say that I want to talk to the entire world, yes, I can reach out to a lot many, but at given point in time I can just reach out to, may say, like, say 50, 100 or 150 people at a point. Does that mean that I am inadequate to reach out to so many? Or it would mean that I have to enhance, I have to increase my reach so that I can be able to reach out to certain people or to whatever my expectation is. So whenever you feel like bad for not being sufficient, or despite of putting all your effort, you are feeling that this is something, ये मुझसे रह गया, और कितना भी कर लो ये तो हमेशा रह जाता है. It's okay, you're human being, it's natural to feel it that way. At that point in time, take a little moment, acknowledge yourself, give yourself a pat on the back saying that yes, out of this 20, yet 14, 15 things you could do. That's an achievement. The remaining 5 parts, whichever is incomplete, how can you strive to finish that, or how can you achieve that? Having a striving notion, or being able to create our own future is important, but chasing something is not that great, because it can then make you feel tired, which I'm sure right now you are feeling burnt out, because there are so many things that you want to do, but it's not happening the way it should be. Whenever you find yourself in this situation of what needs to be done, how should I feel? If I do it for others, they get good things and you might not be getting the good results as expected. Assure yourself that you have done your best. This is what you could do to your maximum capacity, and these are the ways which you will revert back after taking the adequate rest. Because your body is already burnt out, because your mind is already has used up the fuel, it is necessary for you to take that little time out and focus on what needs to be done. It could be that you're putting attention or all the strength to things which could not be that essential. Yes, Anuradha, I can repeat myself. So I'm saying that many a times we put in a lot of effort in a direction which could not really be leading to somewhere. Or even if it is leading to somewhere, the journey or the distance could be something which can be tapped in a very better way, which can be mapped in a way, which can be done by thinking. Like make a plan of action, create your own routine, tell yourself that what is the time you need to look at XYZ things, and then see yourself, and then you will be able to assess your emotions. Kriti, I hope that helps you, right? If I'm correct, I was speaking to Kriti only, right? And with all of us. Hello? Hello, am I audible? Yes. So I'm saying that whatever concerns, whenever you are feeling all of these emotions of not being helpful, like emotions of hopelessness, worthlessness, tell yourself that you deserve this break. Tell yourself that you are doing the best of your capacity, and tell yourself that you will strive to do better with whatever you have done. So your competition is to be with yourself and nobody else. I hope that helps you feel a little grounded, and that helps you to start looking at things in a more better perspective. Yes. So with that, if anybody else, thank you, Anuradha. If anybody else wants to share any thoughts, please do. If not, you can kindly share your thoughts, or you can write back to us on our email address, or share your thoughts in the feedback form. I thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and giving us your time, and reaching out to us and sharing the thoughts. We will see you in the next session. Until then, take care, stay home, and stay safe. Thank you so much, and have a good evening ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.